Dummy Switch Pod, the boys are back.
Yes,
How are you, Chris?
sir. Yes, sir. Oh, I feel clawed. That's how I am today. So,
Pumas
yeah.
attack. Pumas attack. Durban.
Ah, I felt a little something last week that this one could be, and hey, yeah. But other than that, I think it's good for the Currie Cup to see, the guys that are not in the ERC still maintaining that standard, which means that the next best. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. The good news of the week. You're talking about good news, Curry Cup news. I'm talking about good news of the nation. Good
Yeah,
news for South
yeah.
Africa. Elton Jantjies back in the box squad.
Yeah, but I mean, like we did sort of we thought that maybe he's just, he's in that Stephen Donald type, and you see, they is because they know,
They know you can't keep a good
they
man down.
know, and who else? Who else? Honestly speaking, who else are you gonna put? You're not gonna put Johan Croson, not in a bad way.
No, in a bad
Who?
way. After what we've seen the past 2 weeks, in a bad way, you're not going to see Johan Hussen there. Definitely in a bad way. Even there's a lot of names that are being thrown around. Kerwin Bosch. Let's
Ah,
be honest. Kerwin Bosch is not
I, I,
Springbok level.
no,
At
no,
that
not,
point, you just
not,
don't like Elton Jantjies. They're going to talk about who? Sasha and Gomezulu. Sasha and Gomezulu is not that level. You may
not
want him
yet,
to be that level. You may want him to be
but
that
not
level, but
yet,
he's not that
but not
level.
yet, not yet, not yet.
And then they're going to
Yeah,
talk about Rob Dupree as well, who personally I've never been
I,
a
I've also
compatriot.
never
So I've
been a
never been a
fan.
fan of the whole
I've never been
family.
a fan because I felt, because for me, I believe it was he stifled Current Bosch's progress, and development at 10 when
And
he
Indira
was
Debe.
brought to the Sharks. And Inikhatebe as well. Yes, because he was in the mix. He was in the mix. Yeah, actually. So it wasn't his fault, but I still never rated him.
It's his fault, man.
So but he didn't pick himself. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
He
his
didn't pick
father
himself.
picked him.
It's not his fault. It's his dad now.
No, man. It's his fault.
Time I like if it leave him. He was enjoying dad's team. So, but yeah, I'm just glad that at least Alton's still in the picture. He's still there's still value that he can offer. Within that setup. And I was even thinking about it. Well, maybe we can talk about it. After the Curry Cup stuff. But the Boks, they don't have excuses. When I'm looking at the team composition. But before we get there, you know, let's go back to the pips, which we called that the pips would continue,
Yeah,
and
problems in Pretoria. Cheetahs. First semi-final was the Cheetahs hosting the Bulls. Stain,
mm,
they retired him. Bismarck, they retired him. When I say they, the Cheetahs retired them last week.
mm,
No Ambrose Papier as well. You take,
yeah,
yeah, those are three big players that you're taking out of
yeah.
a match day squad.
mm. But also again, if you look at, yes, Bismarck, okay, fine in the pack, but overall, in terms of the Cheetahs pack, there's just too much experience, too much class. In terms of, it's they've been playing Curry Cup, much longer than the guys that the Bulls have. If we're going to be honest as well, in terms of the team that they put out. But still, in terms of performance, that's what you have to question, because these are supposedly the next best, that that need to, that are pushing for positions in URC. And yeah, I still say, there's problems there, because you don't see exactly where they're going. With the Cheetahs, you can see the style of play
Yeah,
that they play tempo game. You know, the control at the lineouts. Using that experience, and you see how important the experienced locks are, because they controlling that lineout. Skekete almost reminds me of like the way he's operating, like he's confident. He's the captain. And it's good to see. And he bossed the lineouts as well. And just the overall pack, the work rate of the Cheetahs pack. Bulls, yes, good showings here and there, but as a team unit and as the talent, no.
No. The Bulls were
Mm,
disjointed. They were very disjointed,
mm,
and they were unenthused. It didn't look like they wanted to be there. There's a tactical side to it, and then there's the eye test, what you're seeing, and these players just didn't look up for it.
yeah,
You conversely, you look at the Cheetah side; those guys looked
they
up
were
for it.
they were
You
hungry.
see the guys, and you see the confidence growing into the guys. You see players, Mafura,
Mm,
Kasende,
hot
Cohen
stepper.
Jasper, those back three, it's like those back three
Mm,
live off of confidence and they just get bigger in the game and bigger in the game and bigger in the
mm,
game. When you think about the Bulls, that really wasn't happening. There's guys that obviously, the Kutsias, they show up, the Elric Lows, they show up. But a lot of
yeah,
those guys, it just looked disjointed and unenthused. Like,
yeah, and you can see that they're too far. You know, they're too far behind. That URC standard where they can be pushing. It almost looked like a Vodacom Cup kind of team. If you know where I'm going with this, in terms of like, yeah, you good, you're professional as it is, but for this level,
but
yeah,
it's not. I mean,
there's
I wouldn't
something
even
missing.
say that because there's other guys who are supposed big name players, Stedman Khans and the likes of. When
Yeah,
it's like even they didn't really
yeah,
show up,
okay,
which is the same issue I had with the Sharks team, where it's none of the bigger name players. But
yeah,
we'll further dissect there. But I mean, even Harry Foster, I don't think he had a good game.
mm,
There's a number of guys, Hussen, hot and cold. Kutsia really shows up. Low shows up.
yeah.
Hrobla, I didn't think even really showed up.
It was just okay. It was just okay. But yeah, they just didn't look like they had direction, and that's why I say, a new voice. We've been calling for a new voice in there, because otherwise they can expect more of the same, going forward, into URC because you can't see where's the point of difference going to come,
Yeah.
from if they stay like this, I know it's a long time before the new season starts, but still, you would have to be thinking about that, But yeah, good for the Cheetahs. They get an opportunity, a second crack.
Yeah.
This time, the second crack is actually in the last dance.
And my thing, like, if we're gonna talk more about the Cheetahs and go away from the Bulls, I just thought it was like a training drill of defense versus attack, and the
mm,
Cheetahs were winning that drill in their defense. The way that those guys were defending, communicating, they managed to stop them all,
mm.
where they could. The communication, the guys reloading, the
Cohesion.
enthusiasm to defend, and then
Mm,
being dangerous when you have the ball and getting the ball back in
yeah.
vital areas. One thing that they did do was they got the ball back in vital areas on the ground. How many kickable
Mm,
penalties did they have?
mm, mm, mm. The pressure at the breakdown. That's what it was. Is that they made sure they were cleaning their ball. Or at least they were more dominant in the contest. To get the penalties. And it is just like I said, it's just the pack of the Cheetahs. Just they're more cohesive, and like you said, the Bulls disjointed, and I think that's what it was. The one team is more cohesive. They have a better understanding. They have a clear understanding of where they are as players within the system.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're looking at maybe the Bulls guys, maybe some guys performance is influenced by the fact that they're not, they're just at at this level, they're not. They're becoming blunt.
It's year one of a
And
3-year contract. They're not going
yeah,
anywhere.
So yeah, man. But Cheetahs are well deserved winners. Good pressure,
Yeah.
good intensity. The Tiger Woods of rugby was back at 10. Was back at 10. I think he controlled things well.
Even
Yeah,
getting box shouts.
I know that's just it's a far reach, that one. I must just wait. That's like maybe in case of emergency, break the glass. So yeah.
And I mean, especially after Masuku had that game that he had last week, for Pina to come into that 10 role and do as well as he
Mm,
did. it's I think it's really good for them, and especially with the Bulls. It's an absolute nightmare considering you really have nothing to show at 10 when they have two different
Yeah,
players that can show you up at 10 2 weeks
yeah,
in a row.
yeah, yeah. There's a big problem there. Big problem there. But yeah, Sharks.
No, just one more thing about the Cheetahs. One more thing about the Cheetahs. Those guys, the strike plays as well. I have to say,
Yeah,
those strike plays. What is it, the Mafura try when they
Mafura
had
try. I knew.
ah
I knew you were
this
gonna say that.
beautiful
So the
beautiful
Mafura
rugby. I
try.
just had to shout that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. No, that was good. And how the defenders were just caught in two minds.
Yeah,
And also the threat of that was also partly due to the threat of Kasende as well. Because
yeah.
they know definitely know about him and his power. So yeah,
I love how they lined that up. And what I also want to take from that into the next game is those were tactical things. You look at that set play, you look at when they knew to attack the ball at the breakdown. Conversely, the Pumas versus the Sharks, I don't feel like there was any
yeah.
tactics needed in this. It was just an absolute arm wrestle, a dogfight.
It was. It was a dogfight, absolutely. Okay, yes, the Pumas, they were fortunate. I think that first try, it was fortunate because Sharks did well to turn that ball over. But
But it was the
then they
pressure.
did, yeah, and then the pressure at the breakdown, they didn't manage it well. It popped out, Pumas score. So already Pumas now, their tails are up, because they know now, okay, this is what we need to do to these guys. And you saw it, even with that intercept try, it was just all about that offensive defense because they were just coming at the Sharks. And the last play of the game epitomized that the performance from the Pumas, how they tackled Currie out. They were just all over the Sharks. And say what you will, maybe if they had 15 men, I'm a Shark supporter, but in that game they were nowhere, because they gifted the Pumas too much, and in a game like that, a semi-final, you don't want to gift teams, and at the end of the day, Pumas were just more desperate than they were, and they held out.
Yeah, they fronted up physically. They put that pressure on.
Mm.
Dimaza is playing. Dimaza
Yeah.
is really playing. You've got September as well. There's only a few things you need. You need some guys that are gonna fight. You need an eighth man that's gonna play, and you need a nine that's gonna control. The other
Mm.
thing they had was a 10 that won the kicking battle.
And also potent centers. I think that is also a big difference, in those strong carries, those yardage that they make, and defensively just
Yeah,
the
defensively as
physicality
well.
that they have as well. I was even thinking that, hey, Pumas are just a bit unlucky that they're losing Apollos because I kind of like him and Ukijima
They're
as a
losing both
combination.
centers.
Yeah, actually, to them as a combination, so, but Jimmy Stonehouse, hey man, his prayers were heard, and now again they have to do it. I think it's the hard way again because they won it away from home last year.
Yeah.
Um, can they do it again? Going to Bloemfontein with the Cheetahs. Cheetahs the one to right the wrong of last year's semi-final. So it's gonna definitely be an interesting game. I think Pumas. Remember it said even last week that they sort of hit like a slump, and this performance is just like pure passion, just do or die, and
Yeah.
like I just they were just more desperate than the Sharks. Can they do it again? That's for me. That's the $1 million question. Especially against. I think this Cheetahs are in a different place than they were last year when it comes
Yeah.
to playing at home and against the Pumas.
Yeah, other things from this game, Mongalo came out and said he made too many changes. He says, put the blame on me. It's not down to these guys. You would have had them getting a better run into this game. But I don't know if you can place all the blame on him.
Yeah, look, credit to him for freaking standing up and just shouldering that and just saying, okay, look, that's on me. I made all these changes, But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he needed to do something after that poor performance against Western Province. the week before, regardless of whether, they were already guaranteed to be in the semi-final. That must have been an alarming thing as for him to see before semi-final. And then what's even more alarming, especially if you're a Shark supporter, is now the next best as well that are in there. It's now you're really starting to wonder, again, almost akin to the Bulls. They just, where they're going. Then they're lucky. I think Sharks have the benefit of, okay, there's going to be a new voice in. So, there's still a lot that can work out for them. But the Bulls, we haven't seen any real changes, so that's, yeah. The Sharks.
Mongalo he's a new coach. He doesn't know. You're supposed to lie. You're supposed to lie.
No,
why is he telling the truth? You're supposed to lie.
But I mean, look, hopefully he can get more out of his guys, in the coming season. It's interesting with him. I think, I think he's got so much value, especially from a defensive point of view. In terms of coaching there, and the Sharks, I think they must look at using him as well in the URC, not only just having him as Currie Cup, Currie Cup head coach, because yeah, we saw it even with the Bulls with their stats. They've let in, I think, the second most points or whatever outside of the Griffins. And that's, you can correlate that to their defensive coach leaving. So he's definitely got value. Definitely give him time. We saw with at the Lions, they've given him Zoki Nkosi time. He got to the semi-final at his first crack. So, there's a lot that they can improve on, definitely. But yeah, I think they also must just be mindful. The question is exactly the next best. Is this it really? Is this how we're gonna win URC? Is this how we're gonna challenge in Europe? If we're being honest, is this how we're gonna do it? And I think a lot of they're gonna find some more no's than yeses. So yeah. But good on the Pumas.
Good on, that's the thing. They really fought. There was a lot of off the ball stuff in this game as well. And that's not really where you want to be taking it with guys that are willing to go there. And the Pumas were definitely willing to go there. There's guys from the Sharks. Penclair, I didn't have a good game.
No.
Sharks were getting dominance in the scrum until Ntutuko came on. Next thing, there's no more dominance in the scrum. I've said before, he's on fraud watch when it comes to the scrums.
Remember, we even questioned when he was called up, So
yeah, I definitely would have thrown on those more experienced guys earlier on, but I guess the coach wanted to show faith in some Currie Cup guys. But yeah, looking forward to Cheetahs hosting the final. Can I get a quick prediction?
Look, I think Cheetahs will do it this time. I'd like to see Victor Skekete lift the trophy in Bloemfontein there. So yeah, I want the Cheetahs. I'm going with the Cheetahs this one.
I'd have to say Cheetahs as well. I think the only way it doesn't happen is if they just totally don't show up. But I don't see that happening.
And if they allow the Pumas to stay in the dogfight, with them, then it's problems. But if they can, be dominant as they were against the Bulls and get a good start, and just build up enough confidence, then I think they can do it. Cheetahs.
Any closing remarks from your side, Chris?
Oh, no, would like to officially welcome Jean-Claude back. He's been given the all clear, So, like I said, if you even look at the articles, remember we said that I was speculating that maybe were there some sort of guarantees that if you, so now they're saying, no, he plays even with Archie, then Munster, plus Evans hurt, so, but we welcome him and we are glad that he's back. So, yeah, hopefully he can add more to the Springbok cause.
Bring those secrets, my brother. Bring those secrets. Yeah, that's it from us. Thanks for watching.